This is your Tarotscope for December 22nd through December 28th. Our anchor card this week is the Magician reversed. So the Magician is connected to Mercury. Mercury is now direct in Sagittarius and retracing its steps over the territory it reviewed when it was retrograde. And so we're still in cleanup mode, and that might be revealing to us things that we missed or things that we didn't quite see clearly or understand, information that we were chewing on that we're now like, oh, okay. And the Magician reversed is bringing up that energy for me this week because it's associated with Mercury, but also because sometimes the Magician reversed is an energy that doesn't quite know how to use the tools at their disposal, or that might misuse their tools, sometimes because of a lack of confidence or because of shady motives at times. But more often there's a sort of unrootedness at the center of this energy. And I think that's something we're grappling with this week, is at times how we use or misuse our words, our power, our tools. And there could be some pretty profound shadow work that comes out of that. This is a holiday week. It's Christmas on the 25th, and we're heading into the new year. And that can bring up a lot of stuff, right? Holiday seasons bring up a lot of stuff. Often it brings up early development stuff, it brings up childhood stuff, it brings up trauma and like the menu of complicated emotions and memories, and that can sometimes throw us into a state of being that's not our optimal selves. And there's a need for us to be patient and forgiving with ourselves while also taking accountability where we need to. And that might look like setting boundaries with ourselves. It might look like logging off or taking a breath or stepping away from conversations when we feel activated and unsettled and know we're going to end up saying something that we regret. So that is the vibe for this week. And we're also entering a resurgence of a mutable T-square between Mercury, now direct, Saturn, and Jupiter. And so this is also bringing up tension. Again, we have Mercury in the picture, and that can bring communication challenges. It can bring a sense of scarcity, even sort of depressive thinking, or resentment, or hopelessness. Like, there's a lot of ways it can manifest, but we don't have to sink into the lowest possible manifestation of that vibe. We can make choices, and we can be discerning, and we can reel ourselves in when we see ourselves going down a path that's unhelpful or unsupportive. And that might be the move for us this week, is to sort of reel ourselves in when we sense ourselves going down that path. Our challenge, however, is the Tower. The Tower is shocking often. The Tower can be, I say often because the Tower sometimes shows up as an event that seems catastrophic or that breaks something down, and we can feel that momentary shock of the removal or the breakdown of something, but often it's been brewing for a long time and we've seen the warning signs and we've chosen to ignore them. This does not have to be an actual catastrophe, and I want to emphasize that because people get scared when they see the Tower, and I'm not predicting that you're going to experience some grand breakdown. I think the more realistic way that this will probably show up this week is that something internally, maybe externally, is crumbling, and we are needing to make space for that crumbling and to stay with reality and to stay with truth. There's the possibility for us to slip into denial at times when we sense something that's about to shake loose. I was watching a show yesterday where they talked about how when someone's going through some type of paradigm shift, they often experience a lot of suffering, right? Because the breakdown of an old way of thinking or an old way of seeing things. And that could very well be what this is. This could show up in that Saturn-Mercury square. It could show up in an old thinking pattern coming up and getting exacerbated so that we can sort of blow through it and break that down and step into a new way of seeing or being or thinking or communicating, relating. And so I would invite you to see potential breakdown experiences, breakdowns in communication, in connection, whatever, as opportunities for some type of breakthrough too. And you can honor the pain and the discomfort and the upset and all of the emotions these challenges bring up, but try to also forge a path through, because this, to me, this week is feeling more like that opportunity for a breakthrough. Finally, part of the reason I say that is because our gift is the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups is beautiful renewal and emotional renewal in particular. Sometimes this can show up as a resurgence in love and in connection with ourselves. Sometimes there's a deep appreciation for the self and the sort of restoration of care and compassion that we feel with the Ace of Cups. Sometimes it's a spark of love between people, a spark of connection and intimacy that brings us closer. And so again, that's why this is ultimately feeling like less of a catastrophic breakdown and more of a smaller, or at least a productive breakdown that makes space for this type of renewal to occur probably by the end of this week. So keep this in mind, tend to yourself, tend to your connections, and if truths need to be spoken, try to do them with kindness and stay with your heart. Have a good week.